Chronicle. I'm Mike Rennick. Before we begin, please remember that we are following CDC pandemic guidelines to keep our guests and crews safe. So let's get to it. We have the City of Cape Girardeau's Public Works Director Stan Polivick with us today to talk about the flood wall and all things infrastructure. Stan, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You laugh at the all things infrastructure. There's a lot in there.
There is a lot. No question. We've got our hands full.
I know we're talking about the flood wall. We'll talk about maybe some other projects as well.
Certainly.
But you can't be in downtown Cape doing whatever without seeing the beautiful flood wall in downtown Cape. Obviously, it's a destination for many people to come and spend time at the river. But there's been a lot going on over the last several years to make sure that things stay safe and things stay secure. And we're celebrating an end to, what, a 15-year project, basically?
Correct. We are very excited about finally getting all of that completed. And we are delighted that we've got such a nice flood wall with the attraction for people to come visit and see and access the river through the gates when it's a below flood stage where they can get out there without getting washed away. But we've been doing a lot of work for 15 years on the part that isn't quite so beautiful, but the part that keeps it functioning. And I have to remind people occasionally that its primary purpose is to protect downtown from floodwaters, not to serve as a wall for artistic improvement. But we are delighted that we have finally, after a number of years, completed quite a bit of work on the flood wall to get it refurbished, if you will, and get it ready for another 50 or 60 years of service to downtown Cape.
And this wall was built, was it 1964?
It was completed in 64.
Completed in 64. Obviously a huge project then, and I would say changed the dynamic of downtown Cape.
Absolutely. Without the wall, downtown Cape wouldn't function, could not function as it does today. With the frequency of flooding that we have in the last 20 years in particular, there's been quite a few large floods. We've set record levels in both 93 and then again in 2016, and we've been close to those a few other times, and that would be devastating to downtown Cape the way it is now if the wall weren't there to protect it.
This project was a 15-year project. Was this in cooperation with the Corps of Engineers?
Yes, we actually had a tremendous relationship with them, a good partnership, which continues. They were involved in the original construction. The city wasn't involved in that part back in the 60s. The two levee districts downtown coordinated with the Corps for that work. The city took over the work that the levee districts had done in 2008, and concurrent with that, as part of this partnership arrangement, the city and the Corps of Engineers agreed to have all the work done. The Congress provided the funding through the Corps, and so we were fortunate to get almost $20 million worth of work completed over a 15-year period. It took longer than we originally thought, but we got it done, and amazingly for a group of government agencies, we have played well together and managed to stay on mission and accomplish what we said we would do.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
We were talking a bit before we started. The work was kind of done without any really interruption to anyone's daily routine, so to speak. That would be
Yes.
shopping downtown or traveling the downtown area. A lot of times when there's work, there's detours or whatnot, but it happened pretty quietly. It seemed like.
Very much so. The most high-profile project was when we had to move 1,800 feet of railroad track near the Broadway gate, and people saw that was a quick project in terms of construction. Everything else was pretty much on the riverside, and so it didn't interrupt too many activities. The rehab work on our pump stations was all inside the buildings, so it didn't interfere with the public activities at all.
So what happens over the course of the life of a structure like that? You know that at certain points you have to start evaluating pumps and drainage ways and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew this project was coming.
Yes. There's the routine maintenance that goes on every year, and just like in your home or on your car, Every now and then you have to put a new roof on your house. There's some bigger things that need to be dealt with that aren't annual activities. And that's the type of thing that was done in the last 15 years with the Corps cooperation and partnership. And hopefully we can wait another 40 or 50 or 60 years before that big of a set of work needs to be done again.
I was on the City of Cape website and I watched the video. There's like a time-lapse video
Yes.
of work being done, and obviously it went a lot quicker when you're watching it on the video, but boy, just amazing to see, you know, the amount of trucks and gravel and everything that was going on at that particular, I think that was the 72-hour turnaround that you guys had. You mentioned the cooperation. What does it take to coordinate something like that?
That project took 8 years to plan and 72 hours to build. And the BNSF Railroad was a big partner in that project. Of course, the Corps, the city, some local property owners and businesses. So there was quite a group involved in that big project, and it took a long time to get it all set up. And thankfully, we were able to get it done in the 72-hour window that we had.
If we don't do a project like this, we see flooding in downtown Cape?
Certainly more impact than we've been seeing. Minor problems, probably not just collapse, but we might see under seepage. We might see the walls the sections might move a quarter of an inch here or there that could cause a leak. Nothing would be dramatic failure, but certainly things we don't want to allow to happen.
And you mentioned that we should be good to go for several years now.
I agree, yes. We have done a very complete job, and compliments to the Corps and the contractors. Everybody did their work well. So I think the city, downtown area, all things being equal, we should be in good shape for another 40, 50, maybe even 60 years.
That's fantastic. Got about a minute left. Other projects that are underway in the city?
Yes, we've got a big drainage project going under construction at the moment on Good Hope Street, near Christine Plaza Way, closer to Kings Highway area, near the Plaza Tower store there. But that one's underway, big drainage improvement project. We've also got one coming hopefully later this summer around Capitol Hall Park to do some drainage improvements around Broadway and Capitol Hall Park. So we're excited to have those either under construction or soon to be under construction.
The drainage seems like a running theme in a lot of these projects.
We never quit working on drainage. Public Works, that's a lot of job security for us.
Yeah, well, congratulations again, and thank you for all that you do to keep the city moving, and we appreciate you being here today.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you so much. We've been talking with Stan Polivick, and again, thank you for being here with us. Coming up next, we'll talk with artist Malcolm McCrae, back fresh from the road after a 6-month tour. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
MS does suck.
MS mucks with your central nervous system, almost everything about your body.
MS took everything from me.
Always taking away. You never get anything back.
Despite MS, I will keep riding my bike.
I will continue to live the life that my daughter expects me to live.
I won't let MS change who I am inside.
I'm gonna keep being me.
Welcome back to Cape Chronicle. I'm Mike Rennick. We have artist Malcolm McCrae in studio to tell us about his Pollinate Cape mural project and his recent 6-month national tour. Malcolm, nice to meet you.
Hey, Mike, thanks for having me.
So, Pollinate Cape,
Yes.
pollination of art.
Yes.
That is that's your philosophy when it
Definitely.
comes to everything that you do. And I know you're an artist, author, speaker, social entrepreneur.
Yes,
I love
yes.
that. So, what's behind the pollination of art?
So pollination was built around a concept that was built around using Mother Nature as the blueprint. I'm an entrepreneur, so I always studied different business structures and business ideas, and I really was looking for trying to figure out a way to bring people together using art, creativity. And one day I was outside and enjoying the day, and I seen a bee, and the bee would not leave me alone. For some reason, insects love me, right? So this bee would not leave me alone, and I started to take my time, and I paid attention to the bee, and the bee was like trying to tell me like, hey man, use us as the blueprint. You know, I was looking for something that was going to be sustainable, long-term perspective. And when I started to really reflect on Mother Nature and pollinators, what pollinators do is they help food get processed by going from plant to plant, taking nectar, sharing a little bit. As you're getting some nectar, the pollen falls onto the bee goes on to another flower and pollinates the world. So as an artist, as a creative leader, as an entrepreneur, I feel like I have a responsibility to be able to make sure that the world is better, a better place. So Pollination Station kind of created and came out of that whole philosophy.
So let's talk about you real quick.
Yeah.
You're from Milwaukee originally?
Yep, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And how long you been in Cape for?
I've been in Cape for about 12 years now.
Okay. So when did art hit you? When did you decide that one, you had the talent for it,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
two, this is where I'm going?
Right, right. I have a concept that I believe we all are born with some kind of talent. And creativity and art was something that I kind of realized was going to be like my way to express myself. So I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. My mom and my dad, I grew up out of 5. I'm the oldest out of 5, but we didn't have a lot of money. And art and creativity, I deal with a lot of different perspectives of just dealing with poverty, gave me an opportunity to build up my self-esteem and express myself as a young black teen that was dealing with different challenges like some of the young people to this day.
And then you obviously knew you had the talent.
Yeah.
What is do you have a favorite type of art that you do personally?
So my other alias that was given to me is Airbrush Assassin, right?
Okay, all
so I'm an 80s baby, love hip hop music,
Yep.
and airbrushing and hip hop music with graffiti was one of the things that inspired my art and my creativity. So I picked up the airbrushing right away, went to the mall, seen a guy airbrushing t-shirts. He wouldn't teach me, but I was a kid that was focused. So I'm from Milwaukee. I shovel snow in the wintertime. And in the summertime, I would rake leaves or do whatever I had to do. And I bought my first airbrush when I was probably like 14 years old. And from there, I taught myself and been focused in on teaching others as well.
So you do give lessons?
Yeah, I do training. Before COVID, I was doing a lot of online training, but now I do even more. But yeah, people call me all over the country, all over the world. I do online training and physical training for people that want to learn airbrushing and art.
I know there's some big things planned coming up
Yeah.
in Cape. Before we get to that, though, you're on the road a lot.
Yeah.
Where's some of your where's the art taking you? Some of your stops.
Man, so we pollinate the nation. You know, we go where the need is. And about 3 years ago, I bought a 40-foot coach bus and converted it into a mobile art studio to be able to go into communities and do mobile art. And so we went pretty much out west. We started off with Texas, do a lot of schools and organizations and different things in public art, and we just started working more west and west, and people started calling from Arizona, calling from New Mexico, and we pretty much just did a whole west tour, pollinating different states, different cities, and different locations across the country.
So in those spots, what artwork are you doing?
So a lot of times it's just built around a community. We allow the community to kind of help us decide what kind of creativity needs to be put put in place. Some of the work we do are like murals, a lot of public art based kind of initiatives that is built around. Our motto is to live, to create, to inspire. So anything that brings people together, specifically with COVID, people are divided. So we use art as an opportunity to bring people together. So it can be as small as painting on garbage cans to as big as painting 20, 40-foot murals, depending on where we at.
Those travels have to continue your inspiration for
Yeah.
art and give you more ideas.
Definitely, definitely. Traveling has been something that I've always done. My wife loves to travel. My father travels. My family travels with me. So having a bus, I can sleep in my own bed. You know. So being an entrepreneur, I did a lot of flights. I did a lot of late nights, and I just was like, man, I wanted to be able to be home more. So I decided to build a home on wheels. So it makes it a win-win situation.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I know, again, there's a lot happening in Cape coming up soon, but you've had several projects
Yes.
in the Cape Girardeau area.
Yep.
What kind of inspired you to for Cape Girardeau to be the place to identify, to bring art to?
Right. I came here just off of 55. It was another airbrush artist that I knew here, and he was kind of getting rid of his business, and I was traveling quite a bit, and I was looking for a location that was centrally located in the country as well. And I came down here just to visit for maybe a weekend and decided that I fell in love with the town. The people motivated me to stay here.
Great.
People here understand and appreciate people who do things with their hands and crafts and creativity. So it gave me an opportunity to create an incredible platform here. So I love this area.
We've got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about the River Mural Project. April through May, you've got a big event going on inside the floodwall,
Yes.
the Themis entrance. So what are we going to see there?
10-year project, been in the making. Pollinate Cape is a program and project that's a 3-year project that's built around beautifying Cape Girardeau with art. So the mural is going to be built around a piece here, A Wish of Hope, and it's built around using images and creativity as a tool to inspire and uplift people's energy and different things like that. So we're asking the community to come out. We're asking for sponsors and volunteers. It's going to be a win-win situation for the community and for the city in Cape Girardeau, period.
So if someone wants to get involved or be a sponsor, what's the best way to do that?
Our website, www.pollinatecape.com. You can go there. We're also on social media, Facebook and Instagram, but pollinatecape.com.
Well, sounds like a ton of exciting things are on the way, a great project. You mentioned that you teach art as well,
Yes,
so
yes,
there's many reasons for someone to get a hold of Malcolm McCrae.
Definitely.
And I love the pollination of art, pollinatecape.com.
Yes, sir.
And that's where we'll find all the information for the river mural. So thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you, Mike, for
Thank you
having
for
me.
being here,
Yes, sir.
and best of luck to you.
You have a blessed one.
All right, thank you so much, Malcolm. Coming up when we come back, we're talking Heritage Day with the Red House. That's next on Cape Chronicle.
It's a miracle that springs forth to feed us, to clothe us,
To bring us joy.
a miracle prompted by rain and warmed by the sun. But few realize without healthy soil below ground, there would be little life above it. Learn more about this miracle under our feet and how we're working with farmers and ranchers to unlock the secrets in the soil.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Being prepared is a part of who you are, but it's especially important in the case of a disaster. Be informed about possible emergencies in your area. Make a plan that covers where you'll go in an emergency. Build a kit with the things you need to survive. There's no one more capable of planning for your situation than you. Start your plan today. Go to ready.gov/myplan.
This is Cape Chronicle, and I'm Mike Rennick. Just a friendly reminder that while we are not wearing masks, we are following CDC guidelines to keep all of our guests and crew safe. Now, last but not least, we have Stan Downs of the Red House Interpretive Center to tell us about the Heritage Day coming up May 15th. Stan, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
How we doing today?
Doing good, I think.
Doing good. So a big day coming up. Let's talk real quick about the Red House Interpretive Center, just for those that may not know a whole lot about it. But the Red House commemorates the life of our community founder, Louise Lorimer.
Right. And it was built in 1803, or approximately that time. And it's an interpretive center. It's not an exact replica because we really don't know for sure what his home looked like.
Okay.
And it's just an interpretive center, and we started building it before the 200th anniversary. I mean, 150th anniversary, pardon me. And we finished it right about the time they dedicated the new bridge. Took us about 2.5 years to build the building, and we're always looking for people that might be interested in being docents or working there. And if you might be interested in being a docent, we would like for you to maybe come down. We're open on Saturdays from 1 to 4.
Okay.
And if you would come down and maybe walk around and look at it and get an idea and talk to some of the docents in there and give them your name, and maybe you might be interested in being a docent and helping us out, because we always should use docents.
So the idea behind the Interpretive Center is that it's similar in nature to what Lorimer's house may have been like.
And you know, we had some artifacts in there of the time frame and some of the earlier censuses of Cape. And then the mural behind it would have been, at the time that home was built, there probably wasn't a flood wall there.
Right.
And that would be the geese taking off on the river. And there'd been a shallow back all through there where it was. We probably originally were built in the, maybe in the parking lot of St. Joseph Church across the street.
Okay.
And, but anyway, we really enjoyed it. It's a vertical log home and not a horizontal log. Your French homes were vertical logs and not horizontal.
Oh, no kidding. So were you part of the beginning of that Interpretive Center then?
Steve Schramm was asked to help build it. And because Steve he was an attorney here, and at one time city attorney, Steve had built a little log house behind his home out near Cherokee Park.
Okay.
It's Kiwanis Park now. And so everybody thought he was an expert at building a log home, and he was, really. But it was interesting. I started working with him close to day one. We went out and tore down old homes out in the country and collected the logs. Jim Goggins would bring his backhoe out and tear the log homes down, and we'd pick them and get good logs, and we'd bring them into Cape. The football team at the college would load them and bring them in for us, and we kept them down at Missouri at the cement plant. And they gave us a shed down there that they weren't using, and we'd stack the logs in there until we got enough of them, and we'd category them and count them. And then we had the concrete put in poured, and then we started from there. It took us about 2 summers to build it.
So a lot of history to look back on then,
Yes.
to get this the way that you want it.
Yeah, people don't realize that, you know, a short period of time, we had 3 different countries that owned this area. You had the French, you had the Spanish and the French, and then the Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And France sold it to Spain because Napoleon needed money for his war. So that's how Spain got it, and then we bought it from Spain.
I think people forget about that Spanish influence here.
Yes, there's a whole lot. And we have the interpretive days are things that we have in the summertime to present history of Cape. And we've had a number of speakers. We've had a professor from Columbia, University of Missouri, Columbia. We've had a number of them from here. We've had a number of local people to talk an hour or so on Saturday. Judge Limbaugh is going to be there in June.
Okay.
And he will draw a tremendous crowd.
And tell us about May 15th then. This is the Red House Heritage Day.
That idea came up because we were trying to figure out a big thing that we could kick off to maybe bring more people down to the home, to the Red House. And so we came up with the idea of having a mule jump. And we're going to have 2 jumps on that Saturday. We're going to have one at 9:30 and one at 11. And we're only going to have 2 participants in the jumping of their mules. We're not going to have a large group of them like they would have at Daltonburg.
Okay.
And there's no contest. It's just demonstration to people to see what it's like.
Okay, and this is May 15th. So the mule jumping, there'll be music there.
Yeah.
Steve Schaffner will be performing. He's a fantastic fiddle player.
He's there from give or take at the first jump from 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we'll have another jump. We have one jump at 9:30 and another one at 11.
Okay.
And then after 11 o'clock, we're going to have the front porch group.
Well, this looks like a big day, and I know that the City of Cape has information on their website regarding the Red House Heritage Day, again, May 15th. And I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for all of your help with the Red House and for this day as well. So if anyone wants to volunteer, they can pop down there. You said on Saturdays, correct?
Yeah. Or come down to the mule jump that Saturday and get your. We're going to have other crafts there. We're going to have basket weavers, and we're going to have some horseshoe people. We're going to have a gal there that's good at making saddles and leather harness. And so we're going to have a number of crafts there that day.
All right, Stan, thank you for being here today. And thank you for joining us today